Okay, so I would like to welcome everyone to another edition of Meet the Candidate. And also a quick little reminder that our goal is simply to get to know each candidate at a more of a personal level, find out who they really are, and we're going to do all that in 15 minutes. And so I'm going to have George, if you would introduce yourself, and then we'll get started into some questions.
Hi, my name is George Fassett. I am a candidate running for mayor of Mansfield.
Okay, so where were you born and raised?
I was actually born and raised in upstate New York.
Wow.
So I was born in a little town called Watertown, New York, and I grew up in and around that area most of my life.
Okay. So when did you move to Texas?
I got an opportunity. I didn't go straight to college after high school. I couldn't afford to, so I got an opportunity through a very long story short through Radio Shack that gave me a ride to TCU. So I took a train, an Amtrak train, one-way ticket to Fort Worth, Texas's intermodal station downtown Fort Worth, and got off that train and took a cab to TCU. And I was about 5 days late getting to school as a freshman. I'd never seen the campus. I got a videotape. Back then there was a VHS tape, so
Yeah.
I saw a videotape, and it sure didn't do justice of the beautiful campus I showed up at. But I didn't know anyone. I was a poor kid living in a single wide trailer in a trailer park in upstate New York. I'm the son of a butcher and a hairdresser, so
Wow.
I got a great opportunity that I worked for, but I definitely took advantage of through Radio Shack, and it got me to Fort Worth, Texas in 1993 as a freshman at TCU.
Okay. What was your very first job?
Probably my very first official job was throwing papers. So I mean, I picked up a newspaper route when I was probably about 10, 11 years old. And then I quickly picked up a few other kids' routes that were decided they didn't want to do it anymore. I was saving up money so I could buy a disk drive for my computer. So I was a real nerd, still am. So.
Okay. How would your friends describe you?
Well, I'm a really big guy, so I'm 6'5". Anywhere from 225 to 240 pounds at any given time. So I'm big. That's always kind of an intimidating thing. I'm confident. I've earned my stripes in a lot of ways, so I think my friends come to me as a confidant, as someone to be to ask for advice or questions, and certainly as someone that's done a lot of things. But I'm loyal. I'm just a real loyal guy. I'm super loyal. So I'm tough to get to know and like, probably, but once we're there, I'm kind of tough to get rid of. So.
Okay. Do you have a favorite subject from school, early days?
Well, early days I was very, very computer and technology driven, and that was certainly before it was cool. So I was the nerd that was into technology. So I started very, very young. My father is and was then an amazing man that supported my interests in that. He got a Commodore 64 when I was really young, and I just kind of went with that through my entire youth. Once I was in college, I went to college for computer science. I really enjoy computer science. I enjoy programming, making software, making devices, making technology, things like that. But I started a computer company, a managed IT company out of the back of my car. I bought my first car from Grubbs Nissan on 183 in 1994, and I started my business out of the back of that car in 1995, in January 95. And I figured out in the early 2000s that I didn't know anything about business. So while I started a company, I was running a company, and like many of us, we know our trade real well, but we don't know how to run a business really well. I went back to school, and I really, really enjoyed my business school. So I went back to TCU, this time on my own dime, and got my master's degree in business. And the strategy classes in that business taught by Dr. Chuck Banford were amazing, and Dr. Rhodes, who is a contract law teacher, and he just passed from COVID last week. So, but my contract law and my strategy classes were certainly my favorites.
Okay.
Later in life.
So, what are your hobbies?
Oh wow! Well, I'm still the eclectic nerd, so I play I like my Xbox, so I play video games. I like to collect a trading card game called Magic: The Gathering. So that's a weird hobby to have, I suppose, but I do like that. I play some golf, but I came down with rheumatoid arthritis a couple years ago, and that has severely affected my golf game. But I'm on the mend, so I made it out once this year so far. So I'm hoping to get out for a couple more games, but with COVID, it's been kind of weird. So
yes, definitely. So, what inspires you the most?
Um, I have a lot of inspiration from my spirituality. I spend a lot of time in my Bible study. I do all personal and self-study stuff. I love to sit on my back porch in the mornings and study my Bible and go through my devotionals. And I spend a lot of time throughout the week doing that. That's inspiring to me, is just trying to be a better man, trying to be a better human, trying to be take the time to reflect on things that I can continually improve on, and I do believe that that the Word of God and the Word of Jesus helps us with that in a lot of ways.
Okay. If you could have a conversation with anyone, living or dead, who would that be with and why?
Certainly a conversation with Albert Einstein would be interesting. No doubt about that. I would really enjoy him, or Edison would be a lot of fun. Maybe Franklin, but the problem is someone like Albert Einstein, I don't know how much of a conversation you're going to get out of him. So but he's certainly inspiring. You know, I've been, you know, I've read a lot of books related to the theories of relativity, and you know, a lot of physics, and I've even considered going back and taking auditing some physics courses. So I think Albert would probably be the top if there was someone I would really like to meet and talk to. That'd be pretty cool.
And what attracts you to the topic of physics?
Oh, well, I think it does span back in part to my spirituality. I mean, all of this is connected somehow. I just don't think we have any fathom idea yet of how that is. But of course, science in the last 100 years has been insanely accelerated. So it does. You know, I grew up. I'll be 46 here in a couple weeks. So I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s. I was born in 74. So you know, space shuttles and you know, I was in I believe 5th grade when the one shuttle exploded, which really impacted our space program all the way around. And it had the teacher on board and all of that. But it's always been of interest to me. But there was, you know, I seemed like I was called toward the computers and technology, so I always stayed on that route. But physics is always something that I've thought, if I had lived in a different age, probably where technology wasn't so prevalent, I probably would have been one of the guys studying physics. So I really like that a lot.
Okay. Is there a specific childhood memory that stays with you today that in some way kind of guides you?
I'll bring my dad up again, although my mom was very, very involved in my life. So I don't want to seem like I'm heavy on my father. They both were amazingly influential, and they both worked so hard. There was a time that I'll never forget that you know, captivated me and really brought me down the path. And again, I was on that Commodore 64. My father had cut his thumb off. Again, he was a butcher, so that was par for the trade. And so he was stuck at home for 6-8 weeks while it was healing back together again. And my father and I spent a lot of time making a piece of software for flashcards, math flashcards. And so we called it Beat the Bell Math, and throw a flashcard up there, and it would kind of count down a timer till the bell went off, and you were supposed to yell out loud what the, like if it was, 8 + 3, you're supposed to yell out 11. Well, we made that whole thing, him and I together on the computer, and we, and I was probably about 7 years old, maybe 8 years old. So we were building math software on a computer, and I was 8, so
Wow.
So that's pretty inspiring. And the way my dad just spent a lot of time during that time that he had down being with me, and I hold myself to that standard with my own children. I try to be very involved and interactive with them, but in the things they like, not necessarily the things I like. So, and my daughter's a lot like me, so that has worked out really well. My son, on the other hand, is a lot like his mother and very athletic. And when you grow to this height and this size as quickly as I did, I was not very athletic. Elegance was not in part of what I did. So, but I really wish someone would have taught me how to dunk a ball. So I do hold my old gym teacher a little accountable there, that he should have taught me how to dunk a ball when I was 6'5" at 17 years old. So I was skinny. I was tall and skinny.
So let me ask you, this is, and you'll appreciate this question just knowing who you are, but what do you foresee happening in the world in 10 years?
Well, I do think we're going to see a greater and deeper level of exploration in space. I do see Elon Musk is leading a lot of technological advancements when it comes to space exploration. I do see more communication is capable even through this. Look at what we're doing now. I'm sitting in Las Vegas. You're sitting in Mansfield. We're doing this electronically and live, broadcasting to 4,000 people. Amazing amounts of technology today. And if we had said that this would be what we were doing 10 years ago to now,
Yeah.
I would have said that's hard to believe, right? And now we have phones and mobile. The next 10 years will be exciting to see what the next things that we come out with. But regardless, all of this technology, all these things have done nothing but bring people together. As much as it seems like sometimes we, there's a lot of trolls and people that are just generally out there and trying to be divisive. But we're sharing photos with our families in real time. We're sharing videos. We're things like Facebook. I have a lot of family that live in Florida, and they're able to see my kids growing up when they can't be here all the time with me, And so, and my wife she's in the medical industry. She is but she's a research coordinator. She does clinical trials across the country. And a lot of times her emphasis is in solid organ transplant research. And so just knowing how the technology and the ability to communicate and collaboratively work across the country and across the world on these different sciences to help humanity is just amazing as well. So I see a lot of advancement medically. I see a lot of advancement in communication and in social systems, from the sense of being able to be closer to our family, be closer to our friends, be able to reconnect with people that we've lost over the years, and we're already seeing that now. I think it'll be more than it ever has been before. We're watching new stuff come out, and as a person getting older, like my parents, I'm sure at one point, and I don't get it. Right. So my kids are doing stuff and I'm like, I don't get it. Right. And so I'm trying to get it. Right. So, but they are doing more than we ever did. Right. So from Discord to TikTok they're doing all these things that are artistic, they're connected. And I think we're going to see even more of that over the next 10 years.
All right. So our time is up, but I want to give you or have you close with just one word of advice. What would be that? What would that be for everyone?
The word of advice that I give to everyone on a regular basis is there's nobody stopping you. There's nobody in your way of accomplishing what you want but you. Yeah. You're the only one. And so, look at this, poor boy from upstate New York. I've worked hard, and you don't deserve it. You have to earn it. But no one's stopping you but you. You can do it. Even me running for mayor, I'm doing it. But I'm the kind of guy that will. That's exactly it. No one would stop me from doing it but me.
Excellent.
I decided to do it.
Well, thank you very much for your time. It goes by so fast, these 15 minutes, but I do appreciate it. And look forward to seeing everyone and participating in the candidate forums coming up. So thanks again, George. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. This election is very unique.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Have a good day.
Bye.